1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
We're gonna jump from your gray aliens experience and your UFOs experience to Mars, Moon, and space, and anomaly hunting. And you have been doing a lot of anomaly huntings also. And I know you sent me some pictures you wanna bring up here. I'm just gonna find the picture here. The first picture you have, you described that as on the moon and cities inside a dome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This was an amazing catch for me. I decided, you know, a lot of these NASA images are always obfuscated, look so different, and they add rock mimicking software and all this other stuff, or they delete stuff and edit stuff out. So I said to myself, I wonder if I went and found an old, like, archived video from NASA when they were filming the landing or either the ascent from the moon surface, if that video might be unedited or not as bad as, you know, some of the stuff we found. And I got lucky. When I took the video, I screenshotted it right away, and I was like, oh my God, I think I see anomalies in this image. I pulled it into Photoshop, and when I took the contrast up, it automatically, they just started coming out. And I was like, this is absolutely amazing. Right. And I saw the domes. Matter of fact, I passed a few images back and forth between you and a few other people in the group, and they were like, yeah, you know, it's definitely there. So I let a little time go by. More recently, it came back to me and said, let me go back in here with some of the new techniques that I've learned with the burning tool, because I felt I can burn through some of this dome structure and show what's inside. Yeah. So, you know, now that I've learned how to do that, I brought it back up. I burned through, and the thing I want people to know is we're not adding to these photos, we're actually taking away from the photo. We're taking data away from the image to see what you see up here now. So we're not adding anything, we're removing from the photo. So I used the burn tool to burn through the dome structures and some of the other contrasting and things that they've done, brightness that they've done. And I mean, this amazing city began to appear before my eyes.
It looks like a dome that is opened in the front, and there is this long wall or fence going around on the back of it, and you see something. You can see something inside this dome. Where did you say this came from? This was the Apollo 11 ascent back to the command module. So while it was actually ascending off the planet, off the moon, I'm sorry, and going back to reconnect to make the journey back home, the video feed was going looking back at the moon. So this is from the Apollo landing site, basically Sea of Tranquility region, and I actually provide the link to the video, and actually the official NASA link for this location is well known and easily readily available, but I'm sure you'll provide it there as well. And I'm just anticipating, or I'm estimating, I should say, that the size of some of these structures inside the dome could be 2 miles high. These are super massive structures. I mean, super. Yeah. This is really, you know, I wish I could be around. Yeah, you know. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen a dome this clear. You know, this is the first one I've ever seen this clear, where you can actually see inside. You can tell that there's structures on the inside. They have 90-degree angles, and you can see this courtyard, exterior courtyard area with this humongous fence going around. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It really is. There is another one here from you, looking like a building.
Okay, let me go to that one.
And the rest of the text saying, "Is this a hillside estate on Mars? You'll be the judge."
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an amazing shot that I took on Mars. I'm trying to remember which gigapan that was. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Okay, yeah.
I think it's from MSL 1112.
Yeah, MSL 1112.
Yeah.
And, doing like I normally do, just kind of scanning inch by inch, because you can miss, there's so much there, you can miss the really good stuff. And in the very beginning of my anomaly hunting days, I was finding a lot of stuff. Like everybody, you can easily find a lot of things, but some of the things that we're putting out there weren't really breathtaking or identifiable. I can identify with them, but a lot of people weren't. So judging from, you have to always look to get better, basically. You have to find a way. So my thing was, how can I become a better anomaly hunter? How can I produce more data and more images that people can relate to, that they can clearly see some type of a structure? So instead of putting out more things, I started putting out less and only putting out the best of whatever I could find. And this one here, when I found it right away, I knew it was going to be a big hit, because it had all the telltale signs of intelligent design. It had 90-degree angles. It had what appeared to be gable roofs. It had what appeared to be windows, and maybe even a gate going around partially in front of the yard. So again, what I did, and it had, the shadow was also a giveaway. The shadow of the roof on the ground was matched. It matched perfectly. So I knew I was looking at something that was definitely erect or standing up above the ground itself, and had these angles there. When I brought it into Photoshop and began to literally burn away some of the fake rock and fake color that NASA puts on things, these are the colors that were already there. This is the way it looked automatically. And I just adjusted the contrast and the brightness after that, and that was it. This is what you have there. This is an amazing structure. It actually appears to be a residence or a hotel, or who knows what it could be, what could it have been, but it definitely appears to be something, that a dwelling that somebody can walk into and maybe live inside of. Can it be? It could be something else, but it appears to be.
The walls are visible. That's for sure. And the windows are visible for sure. And the classic shape and construction for the roof is visible. Also the V-shaped roof, but it just looks like to me that the whole roof is missing. You are only seeing the walls that are left, but that's my opinion, of course, and people can have a lot of different opinions. But it's a great run. It really is. There is another one here saying from McMurdo, and I see something blue in a blue circle. Yeah, this I found this in 2008, going through a worldwide telescope. That's when I first found this. That's how long I've had this image. Okay. It's actually been in my Facebook page since 2010, I believe. I actually put a little my personal Facebook page, little Mars image album. The text has something, emblem or a logo on the anomaly. Yeah. It appears to me, it appears to be, first of all, it's got legs under it. I've never seen a rock with legs. So it's standing on something, and if you take a really close look, you can see that it's actually has legs with base. Each leg has a base underneath it, so it's actually sitting on top of something which is on top of the ground. The actual crystal part on top, or the translucent type looking part on top, I don't think that we're looking into it. I don't think there's something inside of it, but it appears to be maybe a logo or emblem or something embossed on the outside of the actual structure. Some people think it's on the inside. I don't think it's on the inside, because I think it's just too big to be on the inside, but it appears to be embossed or labeled, something on the outside of the actual structure itself. And some people have asked me what I think it is. I think it could have been a habitat. It could have been, a storage place. I'm not really sure, but if you look directly below it, very vaguely, you can almost see what appears to be, and I could be wrong, but it looks like a person standing there with green shorts on or green pants. And right to the right of that person, there's little packages and boxes on the ground of the various different colors.
Now, could that be a statue, a memorial to somebody or something? Very, very possible that it could have been that.
There
But
are a lot of opportunities
yeah,
for what it could be here.
yeah, a lot of speculation. It could be anything, you know. But it definitely, I just don't think it's a rock, and I think it's one of the most amazing things that I've seen out there.
I think there is a lot of things on Mars that has been covered up as simple rocks, because
Hmm.
the most easiest way to cover up something is to use what's besides it and around it and near it, and
Yep,
that's rocks. So
absolutely.
it's not the first time, it's probably not the last time we are gonna see that. But I'm
That's
looking
true.
at another picture here. There are some numbers on. I just got the picture of. I ain't got no text on it here, but it's there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers on here.
Yeah. This is another McMurdo Valley on Mars image. It's, to me, I've been working on this image for a very long time. I've been working on this image for a few years. I found this the same time that I found the other anomaly. And back then I didn't have any enhancing capabilities. I would just put up the images raw the way that I found it. I tried editing it and putting it up a few months back on our groups, and people really liked it. They were like, "Wow, this is amazing." More recently, my techniques have gotten a lot better, so I've gone back in again and really spent a lot more time cleaning it up as best as I possibly can. This image, I can't get away from it because no matter what I do, it always appears to me, based on the way that some of these anomalies are in the image, that they're actually off the ground, and that there's shadows for these images that match. So that's why I numbered them. For example, number 3 appears to be some type of a flying. It almost looks like what we would consider a helicopter in our modern times here on this planet, except there's no actual propeller. You know, I don't know what type of technology they may have there, but it's got a very strange tailpiece, and it's got a very strange piece in the top front where normally that's where the helicopter propeller would be. And it's got a very strange nose, what almost looks like it could possibly have been a weapon. But this object, no matter how I look at it or how I can't get away from the fact that it appears to be off the ground, from taking it to multiple different colors, breaking the plates down of the image into different plates, magenta plates and everything else. The shadow, which is number 3, it goes for that object. For number 1, there's an object that's banking. It appears to be making a bank turn to the right. And it's got a tail, like a plane we would see on Earth, and it's got 2 wings. It's got what they call swept wings. And on Earth, you can see we've got certain planes that the military has produced that have swept wings, wings that actually...
Where the wings are going
Yeah.
backwards. Yes, I see that.
Okay. And you even see on one of the wings, they have these things that come off, these little arms that come off. So those are like usually sensors, cameras. They use them for various different things, not weapons. And this particular, what I call a craft, is off the ground, banking to the right, and it has a shadow matching on the ground. Then there's also another object, which is number 2. Number 2 is almost like a shuttlecraft, and it has a shadow. And when you pull it, it's hard to see it sometimes because this is going to be on a small screen, but I have a gigantic screen that I can pull it into and magnify it all the way. Number 2 shadow is there as well, and it appears to be it almost looks like a shuttlecraft that's not on the ground. It has a typical black bottom that you would see like on a space shuttle from Earth, that black tile at the bottom. It's got very strange wings. They don't really stick out. It's almost as if it maybe is a levitation type of a craft. Again, I'm speculating. I could be totally wrong on this, but this is one of the most amazing images that I've had in my archive for a very, very long time. And no matter what I can do, I can't get away from the fact that this appears to me to be an active base. I just can't get away from it. If you look down to number 4, it looks like a tank. It's got what appears to be maybe a barrel-nosed gun in the front, and it's got the same body of a steel object. To me, it just appears like it might be a tank. But
have you any idea of the size of this image from how How big is
I've
it?
zoomed in. I've gone. This image is probably from the rover itself, a couple of miles at least. It could be more than a couple of miles. So these objects might not be that tiny. I would have to get with Nev for that. But when I say it's far out there, it is far out there. We know that these
far out in the distance.
yes, way out in the distance. These rovers can see up to 10 miles. You know, so according to NASA. So this is you know, it's out there. It could be a few miles away. It's definitely way out there. And so for them to be still have these shapes and forms visible, they might be decent sized objects. And I would get with Neville Thompson on that to see if he can help me come up with some type of an estimate on the actual sizes of some of these structures and objects. But if somebody really takes this image and gets a magnifying glass and looks at the ground level and see what's on the ground in the front, they'll be able to see that those are actual structures there that have symmetry, that have courtyards and roads and everything else at the very bottom. That's a very, very amazing structure. And to the very, very far back, a little bit to the left, there's an actual flag pole standing there with a flag on it. So it's an amazing object. I don't know, amazing image. This is one of the most amazing images I've ever found. It's because it's got objects.
I'm gonna stop you here, Billy, and I will have to say that if you want to see some of Billy's work, you can visit his Facebook group, Mars Anomalies and Solar System Discoveries, and Billy is the founder of that group. He's also an admin in Mars Moon Space Photozoom Club, and he's an admin exclusive Mars Images on Facebook also. You can go check out Billy's work. Go use the search bar in the top right corner and write Billy Carson, and a lot of stuff will pop up for sure. You have been on TV and radio appearances also here. I see the History Channel, Countdown to Apocalypse. I'm sitting here and looking at my second screen and reading from that one. Heritage Skincare TV infomercial. What's that about?
The Miami Heat, the dermatologist for the basketball, the NBA team, is a very good friend of mine, and
we are just jumping from Mars, Moon, Space, and Anomalies to baseball. All right, this.
Yeah. But he's got a skincare line for dermatological skincare line. Okay. And I actually was in the infomercial, which comes on. Okay. It's about a 2-hour show that comes on the weekends, and I'm in there demonstrating the use of some of the products, how to shave, the correct shaving. I'm in a commercial, basically, a TV commercial.
And Tim Curry show, you have been on there also.
Yeah, I've been on the Tim Coy show several times. He's got a really big show. He's done over 100 celebrities, famous big time celebrities. I was very happy to be able to be on his show. He had me on there 3 times, and talking about various things, dealing from businesses to how to be successful to anomalies to everything.
Mars Anomalies, Google Live broadcast.
Yes, I've been on.
This is a new project you and some guys are doing. Tell us a little bit about that. We got 5 minutes left here.
Okay, Chris Maroney from Mars Anomalies on YouTube. He's got a very big YouTube channel. He's a
cool guy. Yes.
Very good guy. Yes, very intelligent guy too. He asked me to be on a couple of his live broadcasts where we actually talk about anomalies or talk about the technology that's being used by NASA, and then we have questions and answers live where people can actually talk to us while we're actually on broadcast. So it's pretty cool. Very good.
It's a good idea they got there. April Sims Show, iTunes podcast.
I've been on the April Sims Show.
I'm not from the US, so I'm from Denmark. So when I see things like April Sims shows, I have no idea what it is. There will probably be 50 millions in the United States that would say, "Do we not know what that is?" No, I don't know what that is. What is it, Billy?
April Sims is a reporter and a blogger, professional reporter and blogger, and she contacted me several years ago to do a podcast about my activities and dealing with women's sports and women's basketball in general. And she did a very good podcast with me. We talked about sports, athletics, and the state of women's affairs in sports and where it's going and everything else.
We are back in the sports business again here. I can hear. And then it says Gyamine George. Or am I reading wrong here?
Which one?
GYAS mine.
Oh, Jasmine George. I was on the
Jasmine
blog
George.
radio. Yes, Jasmine George. Yes, very weird spelling. It's a blog talk.
The English language here, though.
It's a radio channel that internet radio basically, and again more about sports. She did some interviews with me because I was in the New York Times for being the very first person to utilize YouTube in 2007 to promote an athlete, a high school athlete, or really a middle school athlete at the time, to the world through YouTube. I was the very first person to ever do that. So the New York Times contacted me. It became a very big thing. I had an interview with her, and she also interviewed my daughters as well.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Coach Billy Carson, this has been an awesome conversation we had here on Skype today. Everybody, you can go check out Coach Billy Carson's profile here, and it's called CoachBillyCarson.com. Biography, it says. I have to double check here to be sure. Go check it out. I'll leave a link in MassMoveSpace.com where you can find this video and some of the pictures that Billy has spoken about today, and some other links to what's spoken about today. This has been awesome. I was very fascinated about the underground project and the alternative propulsion project, and I am looking very much forward to hear how the progress is going. So should we make a deal again on 6 months where you can tell us about your underground project and alternative propulsion system?
Absolutely. That sounds like a great idea.
That's a deal. Billy, thank you so much for joining me here today in 15 minutes with MassMoveSpace.com. That became to 45 minutes, but hey, so is life. Who's in control of what and where? Thank you very much, and for all of you out there, go check out the links that I will provide you with in the MassMoveSpace.com. Until we see us again, take care out there. Bye.